What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Accidental Isolation, where I like to bring on a guest to speak about a moment in their lives where they may have found themselves isolated, whether that be physically, mentally, or emotionally. This platform is to bring awareness to how common it is to go through these isolations and let everyone know that you're not alone, so that hopefully you'll be able to learn through the stories of the guests that come on this show and speak about their isolation. Today we got one of the best photographers in Charlotte, Jada. What's up?
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
Man, I was excited. Me and her just got done doing a photo shoot not too long ago.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
just and ironically we met right here in Arbo. She was in here doing some content one day and I just walked up to her like, yo, my name's Chauncey. What's your Instagram? Let's connect, let's do something. And then I seen her again later at another event. And that day we actually finally connected and we said, let's do some work together.
Yeah.
And then ironically the same night I seen her again and we just started seeing each other over and over.
I was really looking like, yo, you're following me at this point. But no,
Right.
good energy every time though. That was the best thing. Good energy every time I saw you.
She said it right there, like the energy alone was like, yeah, we gotta work together, we gotta do something. So me and her just got done doing a photo shoot, and at that moment, I already knew, but by that time I was like, yeah, I need you on the show.
Yeah.
I know she got a great story, just like everyone does, and I hope you guys be able to learn something from it. So let's get into it. Tell the viewers, the listeners, let them know where you're from. You can tell them your name. What do you do? Like, why are you
Okay.
here in Charlotte?
All right. So what's up, everybody? My name is Jada Morgan, aka Jayflybaby. I am a photographer based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm originally from Columbia, South Carolina. Shout out to 803, 100%.
Yes, sir.
So born and raised in Columbia, South Carolina. I actually ended up in Charlotte to play basketball. So that journey, basketball just kind of led me here. And after I graduated college, I just decided to stay and start something here for myself. So yeah.
Yes. So you came out here. First of all, let's recognize that she's from the city.
Yeah.
Right, the 803,
803.
you know what I'm saying? Everywhere we go, we roll deep. That's what
Yeah,
we do.
every
That's
time.
what we do, man. And it was ironic because at the time of meeting her, I didn't know she was from the city. And then it comes even more to find out that, like, we know a lot of the same people.
Yeah.
Which, if you from Columbia, everyone knows everybody.
Columbia, yeah, everybody knows everybody.
so small.
And I've lived a couple different places in Columbia, from Lexington to West Columbia. My family from Casey. I live in Irmo,
Yeah.
so you know any and everybody. So
Exactly.
small world, but you know.
And I was sort of the same way. Columbia, I didn't go to Lexington that far, but I was basically just all over Columbia and then went over to Irmo. And then that's where I
Yeah.
kind of stayed for a little bit, the longer bit of my life, or growing up life and stuff. So you was playing basketball, you was playing at Irmo.
Yeah, so actually, I didn't graduate from Irmo High School.
Okay.
So I ended up moving to Durham. Shout out to Bull City, too. I got to give them a big shout out.
Oh, yeah.
So I played basketball there. My mom moved there. After that, I got a scholarship to go play basketball in Tennessee. Hated it there, by the way. Shout out to Tennessee, but so glad I'm not there no more. But, everything, happens for a reason. I was blessed to get opportunity out here in Charlotte at Johnson & Wells, that's history, real talk. That's
Yeah.
history for real at this school. So, I'm here now. So,
So what was it about Tennessee that you didn't like?
man,
You
it
ain't gotta
was so
you ain't
much.
gotta name the school.
I am not gonna name the school. They gave me a little bit of money to
Oh,
go
yeah,
there, so
yeah.
I ain't gonna say nothing. But yeah, it was just a lot. I was going through a lot at that time. Being, a freshman,
Yeah.
traveling 10 hours away from my family, it was tough. I didn't really have any resources or, much of a community around me. So I saw a lot. I had to do a lot. I experienced a lot that I shouldn't have had to, deal with, especially going there to get my education. Shout out to the people who were genuine out there, but there was a lot of, certain individuals that were just a little too much. But other than that, like I said, I was blessed for the opportunity at the time. I learned a lot about myself.
Yeah.
Very tough point in my life, especially mentally for me.
Yeah.
But I overcame it. I stuck with basketball, and it led me to a place to where I became more in tune with myself. I grew a community out here, pretty much like a second family out here. So Yeah, that's the story to that, and that's that on that.
Yeah. Nah, that's
That's
dope
that on
though. And
that.
that's like it's so we can go ahead and dive into it, right? Like the name of the podcast is Accidental Isolation, right? She already kind of spoke about one moment in her life where it was like she as a freshman in general, no matter where you go, you could be 10 minutes up the street, like you're experiencing something new that you haven't experienced before. So being that, and you have to travel 10 hours away playing ball, and you know most of the athletes know like when you're there you might have to go early, or you aren't able to really indulge in the culture that the school has, right? It's just you and your teammates, which is not a bad thing. You can create a whole another second family. You can build your community with your teammates, but it's also hard to try to find yourself. And especially if you've been used to certain things for so long, being in your own family, and you have to be like kind of, technically you are forced. It's your choice. Like we all have a choice, but you're forced to be around these 10 to 15 people every day. And it's like, if you're not used to them, or if you don't know them, or if they just don't move the same way you move, like you still have to be around them. It's not like you just going to school and you can choose your crowd. Like this crowd is almost chosen for you. So let's dive into that, right? Let's dive into that. You play ball, you graduated in Bull City, you got this offer to the school, and you're like, I'm going, right? So you're excited, I'm assuming, right? You're excited.
Yeah, it was
You're
more
ready to go
so
at first.
like I took it to heart because my mom, always told me, hey, you got to go to college, you got to go to school. That's your option. I was brought up with in a single parent household. Had a dad, loved my dad to death. You know what I'm saying? But he just wasn't a part of in the house. You know what I'm saying? So basketball really paved the way for me to get an education. So I took it to heart when I got an opportunity to go and play and do something I love for free.
Yeah.
I think that's the goal for every athlete. It doesn't matter what level you go. I think every parent is blessed to have a child who gets, to go and, not have to pay nothing to go and get, an education.
Yeah.
But it was tough getting there. You know what I'm saying? It was tough getting there. I had to work hard. It was a lot of times to where, like, I wasn't, in the starting five, and then I had to work myself up to get a starter
Is this
position.
in high school, or is this once
High
you
school.
got to college? Okay,
High
so
school.
high school. Okay.
I was peeny weeny in high school. I didn't grow until I got my sophomore year in college. That's when I got gains on me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But going throughout high school, especially my senior year in Durham, it was hard. It was tough. I would go and eat lunch in the library every day. Like I was just so focused on making sure that I did what I had to do to go to school, because it was just like I was not in Columbia no more. So my whole life was wrapped around my friends in Columbia, and then I moved to Durham, and it was just kind of like I was uncomfortable there, and then I just had to like figure out how to get to school. And then when I got to school, it was like, okay, what's up here? And then it just ended up not being what I thought it was going to be. So that killed me.
Yeah. Let's go into that real quick. So when did you move? Like when did you, so you grew up in Columbia, and then you said you graduated in Durham. So when did you get to Durham?
So I literally transferred schools my senior year in high school. The worst time to transfer, literally.
You almost done.
Yeah.
You know what you know. Everything's there. And
For sure.
And as an athlete, like you got these coaches coming to Columbia to come see you. They might not come to Durham to come see you.
Yeah. So it was a little different, especially on an athletic level, from going to somewhere where you have a lot of people with talent, but they may not be seen, to a place to where like it's a lot of talent and they're being seen. Like I just went to one of those high schools, so I kind of got thrown into there, and I mean I still got a scholarship to go somewhere, which I did what I had to do in high school.
Like she's not no scrub, y'all.
No. Let me break it down. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. It gets better. You know what I'm saying? It gets better. But that's the story, though. I had to work to that point. When I got in my freshman year in college, I was a starter. I played every game. I started every game as a freshman.
Yeah.
That was the problem. I was too coachable. You know what I'm saying? I was like literally, I didn't really mesh with my teammates because I was too coachable.
You
like
said coachable?
Coachable.
Okay, yeah.
Like, you
okay,
know what I'm saying?
coachable.
I was there to do what I had to do and get done what I had to get done. Because I was 10 hours away from my family, rooting for me. That's just how it was. So that was what kind of threw everything off. I was just different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had, my mind was just different. And I didn't do the same things that everybody else did. So that kind of, it was just an awkward, uncomfortable point for me. And I had to find myself. I feel like everybody their freshman has to find themselves for sure. But
it's an opportunity to recreate yourself and just find yourself. I can relate 100% to you. Like I went to North Greenville. I love them. I graduated from them, and I tell everybody now to this day, like it's a small private Christian school in the middle of nowhere, like Tigerville, South Carolina. And it was like I was more so like you. Like originally, kind of going there, I was like, oh, I'm going here. I'm probably gonna transfer. So my freshman year, like I was there, I had some Beats headphones, like they were on my head all day.
Yeah.
Like, so when I got to the school, it was just head down, go to class, and work. Like I didn't make too many friends. I was trying to, I wouldn't say I was trying to find myself then, because at that moment I knew myself, and I knew it was me just working hard. Like working hard, that's all I'm here for. I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to do any of this. I'm just here to get in and get out. And then, like you said, like you kind of start to try to, you have to find yourself at some point, because we're not in this world to live alone, right? So you have to start figuring those things out. So back to you, it was more so like I'm 10 hours away. And I'm like, I was close enough to where my people's, my same support staff, they were still able to support me. They were close enough to support. You all the way out here, 10 hours away, balling out though, but it's like, yeah,
it was tough.
I'm by myself.
Yeah. Like seriously, it was like, really like being isolated. I think that was like one of the toughest points for me in the development stage of who I am today, for sure. Saying all that, not everything was bad. I got an opportunity to move here, and once I moved here, I took that personal as well, because it was like I was gonna quit. I was gonna quit basketball. It wasn't because I got hurt. It wasn't because I wasn't getting playing time. I literally played every game. I only got subbed out maybe twice a game, just get water, and was put back in. That's how it was, So it had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with my mental and my spiritual. I just felt kind of like disconnected for a second. But when I got to Charlotte, I got an opportunity to reset. And once that reset happened, I noticed that when I started allowing myself to be vulnerable and start being in a receiving mode, that a lot more positivity started coming my way. So
the energy you feed is what grows.
100%. 100%.
So in Tennessee, you feeling lonely? You feel like you may have lost yourself. You're trying to find yourself. You mentioned. So where did it start to change? So like, were you aware? First, let's get here. Were you aware? Like you were in notice. Like you were in know. Like, hey, I'm not feeling myself.
Yeah.
I don't feel.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I don't feel this. So like, what did that feel like? What was like day to day? Like, how did it feel day to day? Like, what were you going through to make you like? Because it's easy to kind of say like, oh, I don't feel myself. But it's like,
a lot.
To the viewers out there, what does that look like?
A lot.
Some people may not have feel them. Like some people don't feel themselves. They feel lonely. Or they feel these things, but they don't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
So they might not be able to put a name to it.
Yeah.
So like in Tennessee, what was it looking like? Like how did?
I'm like, I don't know if I can say some of this stuff.
No, you get look.
I mean, it was a lot. It was just a lot of uncomfortable moments. You know what I'm saying? Like, being put in situations that the average person shouldn't have to go through. You know what I'm saying? Or deal with other people.
Yeah.
Having to deal with other people's problems, and like you're just in you're just in that place at that time. I had a lot of moments like that. And just like, just getting back to the game, like, you can do it, you're working hard, but people don't like that you're working hard.
Yeah.
Because it's like, they start to hate. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't used to that. I was so used to everybody kind of getting along. We loved each other. We were pushing each other, but we were supporting, not, hatred. So.
Especially as a freshman coming in, you know the spots you're taking.
Yeah,
you're taking a lot of people's spots.
I was like, my freshman year, I only weighed like 98 pounds. You know what I'm saying? I was just, I was like probably one of the slowest ones out there. Like not because I sucked, but like they were all older than me. I was the youngest one on the team.
Yeah.
Seriously, like you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, okay, I had to work harder. But when it only took me like 2-3 months to work harder now. You know what I'm saying? Like that was it. And then once I started surpassing people, it just kind of came an issue. Yeah. But beyond that,
they love to see you do good, but they don't love to see you do better.
Yeah, and I'm not, I wasn't like a selfish person. I've always been a team player. Whatever role I had to play that's the role I had to play. And anybody who knows me knows that. You know what I'm saying? So it was just weird. Yeah. It was weird. Feeling
that friction.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of like what we said earlier, like you're already forced upon these people.
Right.
Right. But we're open, right? We're not mean. We don't, you know what I'm saying? We love people. So it's like we're trying to get to know them. We want to do things. And I could kind of get the sense, like I kind of experienced something similar, not too much because as a freshman I did play. Like most of the freshmen in football, at least, they redshirt.
Yeah.
So it was about 5 of us that played, and like between my first 2 games, like the first game I had a few reps, the second game I had a lot of reps.
Yeah.
And then it just so happened I got hurt in that 3rd week of practice. But you know there was a lot of anticipation of what was going to happen with the depth chart because I didn't start anything, but there was a lot of anticipation and like okay. Because I had a senior above me, then I had a sophomore above me. And it was like, like, they love you. When you're working hard, you're the freshman, okay, you're going to help our team. And then once you start to, like you said, surpass, the friction starts. And like,
it's an issue.
And if you're not a mean person, right? You don't hold grudges. You're just someone who work hard. So it's like, I'm happy for me. You was happy for me, but now it's kind of
like, wow. I think I learned that like quick.
Yeah.
You know, once I saw how, you know, people could move, I was like, yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah.
I kind of
feel bad.
Yeah, like for real. And saying that after experiencing that, you know, I'm not even gonna lie, like I like ducked off. Like I just ducked off. I did what I had to do and I ducked off. Like I mean, not even, like, I had my own spot. I didn't even have a dorm room. I never did. I always stayed in an apartment. You know what I'm saying? Like, to go to school. Like, that's just how it was. So I didn't have to, like, interact with people.
So you just left every day?
Left every day. We'll go to practice and, you know, go about my business with whoever. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, I didn't know what else to. I mean, there was outside stuff going on, so I had to deal with that as well. And that was, like, even more baggage at the time. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of stuff that I went through that people don't know. Like, still to this day, even my best friends, they don't know half the stuff I've gone through. You know what I'm saying? So, on top of that, having to be an athlete and deal with everything else that comes with that, it was tough. But, I mean, after a while, you got to realize it doesn't define you as a person. And that's what that was the transition that took me a little second to figure out, like, yes, I had to go through the Tennessee era. Yes, I went to J-Woo. Not every moment at J-Woo was sweet because, I mean, if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean. I
don't know. We might have to dive into that a little later.
We did what we had to do when we was there. And we had a good time. But there was a lot of crazy times as well outside and inside of that. But I had to realize that with a lot of those moments, that did not define me as a person, especially who I am as of today. When
did you start to kind of realize that what I go through, what's going on around me or what's going on with me? When did you start to realize that? Is that when you started to isolate yourself in Tennessee? Is that when you kind of started to figure out or not yet?
Not even. Okay. I had to move away from Tennessee. I was totally lost at Tennessee. Like as soon as the last day was, I remember my grandma, my grandpa, my mama, and daddy came and picked me up. I got in that pickup truck, and I didn't look back. So I didn't notice nothing while I was there. You know what I'm saying? I really, honestly didn't notice that there needed to be a change in what I started to do. Probably until, like, my junior year in college. Probably junior, senior year. And that's the honest truth. That's the honest truth. I ain't about to sit here and act like, everything was all sweet.
I went through it and I fixed it. And, like, that's why this platform's here. Like, she's not on here because, I went through this isolation. Now I'm Gucci. I'm the best person. I'm perfect.
No,
she's
still
not
working.
on here to talk about that, right? And that's not why I bring this platform to you guys. Like, the purpose is so you realize, like, how easy it is to fall in these isolations and how common it is. Like, or how, like, all of it. Like, she started to realize she was isolated her freshman year in college, and she didn't figure it out necessarily until junior year. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that happens to everyone. And it happens to us. We still go through this, right? It's not like you go through one and then now life is perfect. Like, this is why we're here, like, to tell our stories. So hopefully you can learn from it, right? We can put some tools in your toolbox. So the last year of school, you finished the school year, finished the season, did all that. And then grandpa, you said grandpa, grandma?
Grandma and grandpa came, got me,
they
rescued me.
In the truck.
Yeah, RIP to my grandma for real though, 100%. But so that happened. I moved to Charlotte. That was my sophomore year,
Now, did
And
you already have that offer? Like, did you already know
yeah,
before you
yeah,
before you left
yeah,
school
yeah.
where you
Shout
was
out to
going?
Coach King.
Okay.
Yeah. She's a coach
Yeah.
for the NFL now. So shout
Oh,
out to
yeah.
her. She's dope. Hard nosed coach, but definitely dope for sure. So she actually gave me an opportunity to come out and play for Johnson and Wells. And that year, we had a great group. We meshed well, had a great time, um, you know, and we ended up winning. Somehow, some way, we ended up winning a national championship.
Okay.
So, I hold that near and dear to me because that's something that most people go throughout college and never achieve that goal, no matter what level you're at. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how hard you work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, some people just don't get to that point, and it's okay if you don't. It's hard to do that.
Yeah.
But that group that year, we did it, and that's something that I took and, I just ran with it, you know what I'm saying? Because I had never won a championship. I had been close, like semifinals, but never actually won. And that kind of sparked a light. Like, I came from almost quitting something I loved to winning a national championship.
Yeah. Look what happened when you just keep going.
I'm saying, yeah, for real, like, keep going, you know what I'm saying?
It's
by
like
any
that
means
picture.
necessary.
Yeah. It's like that picture I be seeing.
yeah.
It's like they be in the cave or whatever, and like there's two guys on top of each other. One of them digs, find the diamond. The other one sees it, and he turns around. But all he had to do is one more little hammer, and he would have found all the diamonds in the world. But he seen the other person do it, and then he kind of just gave up on life. But it was right there.
Yeah.
So leaving Tennessee, you probably was all over the place.
Man.
Jay Wu, keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
National championship.
Yeah, that was weird. You know what I'm saying? It was like a weird time, but it was I was grateful for every moment. Saying that, it was still kind of like a separation with mind and body throughout that time, just because you're young, as an athlete, what else is added on. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of extra stuff that's easy for you to get involved in.
Like partying. Look, we're in college.
Like you're in college. You get it.
We
We don't have to. We know what's up. You know what I'm saying? So, right.
You got everybody out here.
So, it was a lot of other stuff that I had to go through and deal with, but I mean.
Relationship issues?
She's here. We're not gonna go. We're not gonna go into that.
No, that's why we edit that out.
But yeah. I mean, relationships definitely have happened throughout that time. That was a big part of.
Hold on, go ahead. Yeah.
My that relationship was a big part of my college. You know, that was definitely somewhat in a marriage, I think. But seriously, but I mean, that's everybody, anybody.
Everybody's going through that.
I mean, that's simple.
So we had Jay Wu, just won a national championship.
Yeah.
Right. A year ago, we thought about quitting ball. We were in a situation where it was very uncomfortable. We didn't want to be there. We come to Jay Wu, win the ship. Now we here. We finished the sophomore season, right?
Yeah.
We went through some trials and tribulations through the team, right? But for any championship team, you're going through some ups and downs, right? Because you got to be able to fight back when things are coming to you, right?
Yeah.
So where are you at, like, mentally now? Like, I know you happy.
Probably
right?
crazy. A little bit. I'm playing. No. So going into junior year, it was just like we ended up getting a new coach.
Yeah.
Coach King ended up getting a great job with the NFL.
Yeah.
So that was another year, another case. But I mean, we ended up still having a solid team. We won a conference championship. Had a couple All-Americans on that team.
Yeah.
So it was lit. I mean, either which way. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And it just kind of transitioned. Now, saying that, my junior year, I did break my finger right before the season started. And I had to sit out like 3 months. So that mentally was like, oh, my God. Like, I had worked so hard to come back to get hurt in a homecoming game.
So you started the season, though. You was playing in the season, but then
well, no, I didn't even start the season.
I broke
my finger a week before the season started, a week before our game, and I'm a starter.
Yeah.
So My coach was hot. My coach was hot. And my coach was like, what's going on? But yeah, that was weird. I had never really had any injuries that took me out of the game, and it was bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it took me out of the game.
Yeah.
So coming back from that, healing and just trying to transition. When I came back, I think I actually came back a little bit early than I was supposed to. But I mean, I started. I started straight out the gate. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool. We just kind of ran with that. So that was a little bump. But I mean, other than that year was just that year. If you know, you know.
Yeah, it was pretty.
But yeah, I mean, we went to our senior season. That was a little different year for me. A little tough, a little bit more tough. I actually lost my aunt, one of my great aunts, that year. So that that took a toll. And then I actually found out the same time my aunt passed, my grandma got diagnosed with stage 3 ovarian cancer. Now that was like somebody that impacted me a lot in my life. So it was tough, having to deal with that, and then going through the senior season, being team captain, just doing the things I had to do for the team. I was a part of a lot of organizations, did a lot of community service. But with that being said, behind closed doors, I was going through it, seriously. So.
And you weren't alone in that. Like a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah, 100%.
And I feel like it's I don't want to say it's a human reaction, right? There's no science behind that. I don't have the science behind that. But a lot of people, when you don't feel like sometimes you have that community around you, or it's not that you don't have the community around you, you don't know how to use that community around you.
Yeah, 100%.
And a lot of people have that, one of those two. One, they don't necessarily have that community around them, or they don't know how to use it. And that's something common in a lot of people, right? Me myself, right? When I go through my isolation, sometimes even to this day, like I still might remove myself from situations, or just because to me, I feel like the biggest thing is in those situations, I don't want to be vulnerable.
100%.
I'm a pretty vulnerable person, but even in I'm not perfect, so in those situations, it's like maybe I don't want them to see me like this.
No.
And especially as a team captain, right? We won one national championship. We just won another conference title. It's like, so I know we're capable of doing it, right? I have this, I got school, and then you deal with the loss of 2 important people, or you deal with the loss of 1 important person, and then you hear some serious news about the other.
Yeah, literally.
How do you move through that? Like, how do
it's that's tough. I mean, that's something that's tough to talk about. Like, everybody has their own way of dealing with things. For me, honestly, I'm very transparent about this. Fam, this is my testimony. At the end of the day, it was tough. I was playing, I've always played basketball to keep me out of trouble, to make me level-headed, because at the end of the day, I didn't have, I had a rough childhood, you know what I'm saying? I grew up very rough, you know what I'm saying? But, I still had a good group around me, you know what I'm saying? So I was protected in a way, but I was kind of, I always had a chip on my shoulder, you know what I'm saying? I was never relaxed. So, when I was going through that, my senior year, I was never relaxed, and that was the problem. So, dealing with that, and plus having to, just be that role model to other people, it was tough. But, I woke up every day okay, I have to do this. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm doing this for. I'm almost here. I wanted my grandma to see me, not sit here and worry about her, be crying over her. You know what I'm saying? She the one who going through it. I need to be out here, making her proud while she here. So that's what I did. That's how I got through it. I was like, okay, I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm going to be this strong leader, no matter what group I had. And I just toughed it out, got through it. I know. My senior season did not end exactly how I would like it to have. But, I still got through it. I still graduated very high up with a lot of accolades. You know what I'm saying? And my grandma got to see me graduate. So that was the goal.
Biggest thing.
So,
Above all the championships, all the playing time, seeing your grandma, allowing your grandma to see that.
Yeah, 100%.
Happy. So, we moved from Tennessee, we come to Charlotte, right? When we were in Tennessee, we were kind of isolated a little bit. So we moved here. First year coming, we won a championship. So already, our mood at least, right? What's going on deep down inside may still be the same, but at least our mood, our outwardly appearance, like we're excited, we're happy. Like, what can go wrong, right? We just won a championship.
Yeah.
And then we go through the next 2-3 years of school, and things are going good, right? No one's perfect. You got to live life day by day. Every day is not going to be
100%.
good, but
Yeah.
the overall, when you come back, you look at the big picture, right? It looks good. Every stroke ain't the same. Every stroke isn't perfect, but the picture's still good. We get to graduate, right? To me, it seems like you were able to find that community a little bit. And we're closer to Durham, right? Maybe everybody don't know, but Charlotte's closer to Durham than Tennessee.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, yeah, a hop and skipping away.
So you still got your original community back at home, but now like we come to Charlotte and we're involved in, like you said, all this community service. So now we're outside, we're networking, we're meeting people. We're not like in Tennessee where we go to practice, go to class, and go to the room. We're outside now. Like we're meeting people. We're feeding the energy that we want, which is to meet people, to being around a community, to uplift and things like that. You said, freshman year it was what it was, and you didn't really figure anything out until your junior year. What was it that you figured out? Or what was it that you noticed that, okay, this is what I went through?
Yeah.
How did I get through it?
I actually, honestly, I figured it out because I almost went through the same thing my junior year with a different coach.
Okay.
Yeah. Like kind of the same concept. Not going too much into that, but like, I had to realize like I've already been through moments like this with a team. And this is how we're going to get through this. My senior year was a little bit different because it was a lot of unexpected things that happened. I mean, I think that's probably like junior year I figured out like what I wanted to kind of like do. Senior season I kind of executed those things in the beginning, like getting involved in community service and stuff like that. That was important to me. And then I got hit with my grandma's situation.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, like it was a smooth transition, but then I got hit with a couple walls. And those walls were a little hard to climb over, you know what I'm saying? Like
brick.
Like I'm not gonna keep, I'm gonna keep a whole buck with you. Like I just still like my senior season, like it was weird. It was a little rocky. You know what I'm saying? Especially like closer to the end because you got to think COVID.
Yeah, they don't know that.
I'm a COVID graduate, so I'm that awkward 2020, 2021, so I had to deal with that. I went from literally, winning homecoming to getting concussion, winning homecoming, then coming back off of concussion, and then stuff happens at a game and I'm off the team.
Yeah. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was weird.
If you don't mind me asking, what happened at the game?
It was a altercation. I mean, we grown now. You can't do nothing now.
It's in the past.
We here.
Yeah.
So, basically, we were playing a game at a school, and it was third quarter. It was kind of like a heated game, and one of my teammates started getting kind of beat up by another player on the opposite team, and I jumped in, like a normal teammate would at the time. And it just kind of escalated from there, and I got kicked off because they said it was a little too much coming from me. They wasn't expecting what they expected when it came. So, that happened, and I don't know. Like it was just like I got kicked off, like literally like a week before playoffs. So I went my entire senior season working, playing, practicing for a team, not seeing my family, not seeing my grandma, to doing the things I'm supposed to do. I was actually trying to pledge as well. So I was doing everything I was supposed to do, to getting my head bust, getting a concussion, to winning homecoming, to getting to altercation at a game, getting kicked off. That's something I never saw. Because, like, that wasn't really in my character to do. But in that moment, like, my true colors really came out. You know what I'm saying? Something I was trying to hide from the people because I was trying to be a normal person. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you get it, you get it.
You said there was something that you was, like, trying to hide.
Yeah.
So, like, you was hiding something. But, like, Was it something you just now started to hide? Is this something you've always
No,
did,
always,
or is
always,
it-
always, 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 always.
So either what were you trying to hide, or why did you feel like you needed to hide whatever it was?
I mean, like, I just want to be a good person. You know what I'm saying?
What's a good person to you?
I think a good person to me is just like someone who does their due diligence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, help other people out. I'm very humble. Like, just put, your best foot forward. Like, like I said, I didn't grow up with a worse childhood, but I didn't grow up with the best.
Yeah.
I went
You
through a
grew up
lot
in
of
your
things.
childhood.
You know,
It's not about
yeah.
comparison. Comparisons is
Like,
thief
what
of
I'm
all
saying?
joy.
Like, I went through a lot that made me,
you are.
who I am, but that who I am may have not been the best person. So,
The
saying
reason
that,
I asked is because
yeah,
so when I said like, what's a good person to you? Like, there's no definition of a good person.
yeah,
A good person is what you define it as, right?
100%.
Right, and obviously that could be a little tricky.
Yeah.
But like, you were saying you wanted to be a good person. That
Yeah.
enough is allowing you to be the good person you wanted to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said it earlier, but it seems like you kind of forgot it. Moments don't define who you are.
100%.
You said that yourself. No one
Yeah.
else said that. So you know that.
Yeah.
Like, innately, you know that this moment isn't going to define me. But at the same time, when we're talking now, you kind of, it feels like you're judging that self. Like, oh, I let
Not even.
my true colors out. Was it your true colors? Or
Well,
was it
at
just
the
one
time,
moment?
no. At the time, it was kind of like it didn't define me as a person,
Yeah.
but I know who I am.
Yeah,
Like, you feel
that
me?
is out of
Like,
character. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that was a little bit out of character for
Uh-huh.
me. You
Yeah.
feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a character, like a characteristic I could have on a normal basis that I choose not to.
Yes.
I don't choose to be violent.
Yeah,
I don't choose to be rough, tough, mean.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like doing that. I'm chill.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, naturally. But, like, if you get me there, you get me there.
Yeah,
And that's
it
something
was an
that, you know what I'm
incident,
saying?
yeah.
That was an incident. But I just didn't want to be looked at like that because literally, I mean, they took everything away and
Yeah.
they wasn't playing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So at that moment, that did kind of define who I was.
Yeah.
And I had to, like, realize, like, okay, no, it didn't. You know what I'm saying? You need to prioritize what's important right now. It doesn't matter what they think. You know what I'm saying? Everybody going through something right now. Just do what you got to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? It kind of hurt me to have that happen. But at the end of the day, stuff happens.
Yeah.
And you move on, you deal with it, and you get through it. That's just what it is.
Yeah, stuff happens every time. Every
Every-
day stuff
yeah.
happens. And you can't control a lot of the things
Yeah.
that do happen, right? So we get into the altercation now and we're off the team.
Yeah.
So it's like what's going through your head? Like what's next? Like what's going through your head is obviously like this is my senior year.
Yeah.
Right. You kinda said it earlier, like I just got the news about my grandmother, like
Yeah.
I could have been with her. I chose to be here because, in life we all have a choice, right?
Yeah.
You chose to be here. And then this happens. Like, what's going on? Like, what emotions? Are you angry? Are you upset? Are you sad? Like, do you have resentment in your heart? Like, as you move forward, because like it always does, life moves on, right?
Yeah.
As you move forward, what's going on through your head, or like, what were the next steps?
My next step was to be a better me.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't really talk too much about like everything else that was
Yeah.
going on because, I mean, like I had to finish school.
Yeah,
At the
you
end of the
had to
day,
do
I
it.
still had to walk those halls, even regardless after like what happened. It really wasn't even walking halls; it was online because COVID.
COVID, yeah.
So like, I mean, I dealt with it the best I could. I still focused on my academics and finished school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really like
Sit in it.
sit in it. I couldn't. It was, as much as I want, like, as much as I was just like, what the heck happened? Like, I couldn't sit on it.
Yeah.
I didn't want nobody to know about it. Like, most
That
people
too.
are just now finding this out for the
Like,
first
yeah.
time. Like, seriously, unless you was on that team, you didn't know. But, yeah, like, it was tough because, during that time, my grandma didn't get any better. So that was the awkward moment. That was where the pain was coming from. Not necessarily, okay, I just got kicked off the team.
Yeah.
At that point, it was like, okay, I did what I had to do, and I probably wouldn't have changed my mind.
Yeah.
And if this is the consequences I'm facing, then that's what it is. So I just had to deal with my grandma's situation.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that, like,
Really was weighing on you.
yeah, because now I had nothing else but to focus on, like, okay, family and school. There was nothing else. Basketball was not taken away or hiding me from anything. I could not run from nothing. So
Yeah.
I had to face that 100%, and that kind of broke me down during that time. But,
which it would to anybody.
Yeah, like, you know, yeah.
A loss, and right, like yeah, like yes, it
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah,
For
100%.
anybody in your life, like
Yeah.
especially a big role model in your life, like someone who's in your life. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to like feel those emotions.
Yeah.
And be in those emotions and understand, like, damn, be angry even. Like, I can't
Yeah.
control this, bro, and this shit's pissing me off, right?
Yeah.
Like, those are all right to be.
R.I.P. to grandma. I love grandma, but like
that.
R.I.P. to grandma. You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of what the outcome was.
Yeah.
But I
Did she
didn't.
pass, like, in that time, or did she?
She passed a few months later.
Okay.
But like, you know, she had to go through those few months, and those are a tough few months.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I just lost an aunt to cancer. Actually a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand.
Yeah, that's tough.
Just being there for them, allowing them to see you, allowing their last days to be joyful as much as they can.
100%.
Cancer, I lost it to cancer as well. So
Yeah.
cancer, obviously, it's a battle in and of itself.
Yeah.
But being able to be their light in those dark moments, really helps them in their last days. And it also helps you.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't visit my aunt a lot. And just being able to see her one last time,
Yeah.
I was grateful for it.
Yeah.
Because I walked through the door and she smiled, big old smile.
Yeah.
It
That's
looked like
always
me.
the
So it's
cool.
something that, like, we were able to sit with as that goes on. And then, but the loss of anyone's hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like we said, like how it always happens, life keeps going on, and it's like we gotta move with it. Right? It's with
100%.
us.
Yeah.
We're here. We're in Charlotte. We graduated. Right. Basketball team or not, we got that degree.
Yeah.
Right. For free. She got to see us walk. Right.
Yeah.
We got it. We got that. We got the goal. The goal was accomplished.
Yeah.
And we got some
100%.
extra with it. We got some jewelry with it. Right.
Yeah.
We're in the championship. So it looks like when you left Tennessee and you were in that moment, come to Charlotte, you found your family, you found your community, right? You hit a few roadblocks, hit a few walls, and you were able to move on forward through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like to me like how you did that was just by going day by day.
Day
like
by
taking
day.
each day as it comes.
Prayer was a big part of that. I had to pray every day. Seriously. Because it was so many tough moments to where, like, you know, it will break somebody regular down, like 100%. But, you know, just praying and having faith and just saying, okay, if I do pray, why am I worried about it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to pray
And
still worry about it. So, I mean, it was a lot of days to where it wasn't the best, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, I feel like that's just a part of growing up, you know, just like the maturity level. Like, you got to think, how old are you in college? Like,
we 20, 21,
like, you know what I'm
22.
saying? I just turned 25. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, like, I was in school longer than I've been out of school at this point. So, like, still to this day, I'm still coping with a lot of things. But at this point, I'm on a different type of mode at this point. You know what I'm saying?
You aren't alone in that. Like, that's literally everyone in America, at least. Like, we're almost groomed to this instant community, or not instant, but we're always groomed to always having someone around us. Always, someone's always asking us for help, or do we need help? Like, we go through elementary, middle, high school. If you're blessed enough to go to college, you go to college. Like, it's almost handed to you, so you aren't used to, or you don't know how to deal with certain things, because not that it's handed to you like a handout, but like there are things around you, right, that you have those resources more available, just a little, right? And then now we graduate, and it's like now we're in the real world, right? And on top of that, the class of 2020, which I'm in as well, is like had to deal with something totally different.
Yeah, that was
like
weird.
My experience, we got the call on Tuesday, and like we got the call on Tuesday. By Friday, or by that Friday, we had to move off campus. Like, we had to be going.
Yeah,
like,
people
classes
had to
are
go.
online. Go home, right? There were a few adjustments where, like, if you need to stay, if you need a couple extra days for accommodation, the school looked out. But for the most part, like, go home, right? And for most people, for anybody that goes to college or anything like that, like when you go to school, like your senior years for looking for jobs, your internships.
Yeah.
That's when you're doing these things, and like we lost that spring.
Oh my God.
So like we graduated and we just here's the real world.
Yeah, literally. Like
and that in of itself is a challenge. It's tough because like I said, we were so used to having everything mapped out, planned out. We got a class schedule. We got this. We got that. So going through that, we finished school, we graduated, but COVID's here. So you probably missed out on a few things.
Yeah.
How would you transition? Like what was the transition into what we would say is adulthood?
I was just trying to make some money anyway.
Hey, any way we can.
Like honestly, actually during that time, I did go meatless. So I stopped eating meat. So that was cool.
What made that choice?
My grandma.
Okay.
100%. So that was that. I went meatless during that time. I was at the park, putting my feet in the grass during that time.
Yeah.
I was just kind of just living life because, I mean, if you thought about it, like during the COVID, especially when it first happened, nobody knew nothing. And everybody was just like,
scared.
You go to the grocery store, it was empty. You know?
You can drive on the street, you ain't got no traffic.
So, I mean, I remember walking outside and, I mean, it was nobody on the road.
Yeah.
You know? I think during that time, I was just trying to survive just like anyone else, and really figure out what I wanted to do. During that time, my brand was created. During that time, I picked up a camera. During that time, I got to figure out and really develop my creative like outlet, like, you know what I'm saying, like I really got to spend time with my creative self during that time. So I just worked and did stuff fun. You know what I'm saying, like
you just live, like started enjoying life.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying, like I call myself like an extroverted introvert. Like I be outside, y'all, but I love being inside. I love being inside, you know, and I spend a lot of time inside doing the things I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So like I said, I had created a brand, and I just started doing stuff like that, like, you know what I'm saying, like any other person during that time. It was just like you just didn't know
I feel like COVID
was going on.
COVID obviously was in and of itself, it's a pandemic, so that was that, right?
Yeah,
so the
it was
dangers,
weird.
the fears, the deaths, the heartache, all that aside, COVID had a lot of great things to pull out of it, and one of them was the creativity that humans began to lack, especially with the advances of technology. Is coming so fast. Like even now, some of the creative juices or the creative stuff we do, the artwork we do, is through technology, which is incredible. We love technology. We're on this podcast because of technology. But it was something there that kept us back. Like it didn't allow us to go outside. Go grounding, right? Go ground in the earth. Like actually be on nature. We're in the city of Charlotte. Like it's pavement everywhere, right? There's a lot of parks, thankfully. But like COVID was allowed a lot of people to just be able to go outside and just be one with earth and just kind of also isolating themselves.
100%.
And it's like the reason why I feel like COVID had a lot of good in it is because the podcast called Accidental Isolation, and a lot of people may have a negative connotation around it, but it's not meant for that.
Yeah.
There's nothing. A lot of times isolation is brought upon by something maybe bad happening, but that doesn't mean the isolation of itself is a bad thing.
Oh, yeah, no.
COVID led us into isolation, and at that moment we had to sit with ourselves. A lot of people can't do that, right? It's challenging to a lot of people. But once you start to sit with yourself, you can start to learn the things you like. You're able to pick up a camera. You're able to take a few pictures.
Yeah.
You're able to realize that this is a passion, not just a hobby. This can be a career. This can lead me to a lot of things. Also, this can help so many other people. So you picked up the camera in COVID, right? You're going outside. You're doing things. This is when the brand started. Go ahead and name drop the brand.
Truly Grateful.
Okay. Yeah.
TG Productions is the photography brand. But
the brand started, right? We got a job, but now we moved past it being a hobby. Now we're about to take an overdrive.
Well, that's the thing. It was a process to even get to that point.
Oh yeah, let's go through the process.
Yeah, so I mean, starting with the brand, I was working like as like a front desk at like luxury apartments, like, you know. And I was just tired of it one day. I was just like sitting there like, I can't do this no more. Like, I can't do this. And I just started jotting stuff down on a piece of paper. And then I had the idea for a long time, but I never, you know, really put it to action. And I remember having a conversation with my grandma before she passed, and I told her about it, and she said, go for it. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I just kind of sat there, cried about it a little bit, wrote some stuff down. I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. And I had a whole plan. Like, I'm going to start with some T-shirts, do this, then I'm going to do this, and that. And then one thing kind of led to the next. As far as picking up the camera, I mean, I picked up the camera to take product photos. You know, and then, like, with me playing basketball, I was still in the gym. So people were like, oh, you got a camera? Oh, you make videos? I'm like, yeah, you know.
I ain't make no video yet, but
then,
I'll make them.
Yeah, so like, I mean, I started making videos, taking photos at games, and then when I got called for a graduation, birthday, wedding, and then it just kind of led to one thing after another. I did stay consistent with that, and then like I kind of like got distracted for a second and put it down. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I put the camera down for like a year. I really didn't shoot. I was doing nothing. I was focusing a little bit more on my brand than anything. And yeah, so like that was like closer to like that was during and close to the end of COVID. Like end of 2021.
Okay, yeah. So we got this brand, and like you said, the biggest thing you were able to do was stay just consistent. Right? And you wrote out a plan, right? It was sad, right? But you wrote it out, you moved forward with it, and you started doing it. You started gaining traction because of the consistency. What made you put the camera down?
I didn't really I didn't think I was good enough at the time.
Okay. Yeah,
like honestly,
confidence is common.
Like I was like, okay, who am I gonna like? What do I want to do with this? Like, I had no idea. When I picked up the camera, I didn't know how to use it. I had no like prior knowledge. Like, I didn't have any mentors, none of that. I just picked it up to take a photo because I wanted it to be nice and professional for my brand. And so I had to figure everything out. And then it kind of went to where, like, I mean, I was doing everything free in the beginning. I mean, I'm still doing stuff free every now and then, you know. But, like, in the beginning where you need to be making money to survive, it wasn't cutting it. So I had to put it down for a second to go hustle a little bit, do what I had to do. But with that being said, I was able to put myself in a position to invest into those mentors or get into those places. And even, you know, even then, like, it just took me a time of being isolated to figure that out. Like, okay, maybe I should pick it back up and do something with it. So
what were those thoughts like? So when you were in those isolations, like, where were you, what kind of pushed you to pick it back up? Because you didn't have confidence, right? So I didn't really. No one wants me to take their photos, right?
Yeah, I mean, so people still was hit. Hold on, people was still hit me up for photos. Shout out to those people.
In your head, definitely shout out. Head, she picked it back up, and we're grateful for that.
Yeah,
But like in your head, you was like, I don't. They might not. One is not making money. That's the biggest reason for a lot of people stop their passion.
I wasn't making no money off of it, like true money off of it, and I was like, and I had a lot of like, well, why don't you do this? And I was like,
because okay, that shit costs money.
Like, you know, but I just kind of put my head down and was like, all right, Jada. You've been sitting on you for a long time, and it's time for you to shine at this point. So you got to put in the work. Not every day is going to be easy, but do what you got to do and do what you love and make sure people know that. So that's what I did, and I literally put myself there. I was just talking about this the other day. I put myself there. I literally envisioned what I wanted for myself and put myself there. And I can't make that up. Like, I manifested what I wanted. I prayed for what I wanted. And I just wrote it down every day and did those things to get me closer and closer where I wanted to be to up until this point. Like, I'm still doing that to this day. Yeah, I did the work for once. I finally, like, put in the work. And I was putting in the work somewhere else where it used to be basketball. You know what I'm saying? That's where I was putting in the work for.
You know how to do it.
Yeah, I put it into a camera at this point now. So once I started really taking myself serious, I noticed how people started taking me serious. And it felt good.
Yeah.
It finally felt like people were seeing me for me and not other things I was doing that was defining me.
Exactly.
So
Being yourself in that seed you planted was growing.
yeah,
The mind can't tell the difference between what you plant. So if you're planting, I'm not good, this ain't making no money, I can't do this. When you plant that, that's what
Yeah.
that mind gonna grow. It's gonna grow. It's gonna be a
100%.
big old plant, big old flower. It's gonna grow that because the mind can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
So that's why you got to be careful what you're planting. And you started to do that. You started to manifest. You started to prayer, use your faith, right? And you started to realize like this is the seed I want to plant now. This is where I want to be. So once again, that mind's gonna grow whatever seeds you plant.
Yeah.
So you planted that one for the first time. Not for the first time, actually. You did it with basketball, and then you did it, right?
Yeah.
Because you went to a school where it was like, oh, man, it's an ass of talent right here,
Yeah.
right? I don't know if I could. But you didn't plant that. I don't know if I could do this. You
No,
said,
it was like
can
I gotta
still make
hustle.
it out.
Yeah.
I can still
It was
do
a hustle, it was a grind.
And that's what grew out of that. So now with photography, you just forgot a little bit, like, oh, let me plant this seed. This is the seed I need to grow. And then you started networking. You started doing what you got to do, and you started doing the work.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's the biggest part. Like, even with the mental health side, like, even with the isolations, even with the depressions, even with the sadness, like, this is a tool, right? The catchphrase of the podcast is putting tools in the toolbox of life, right? This is a tool. Therapy is a tool. There's so many tools out there, but just like tools, like, they aren't going to build themselves.
Yeah.
You have to pick those tools up and begin to use them. You have to be able to do the work, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people sometimes don't do the work.
Yeah, 100%.
And I feel like that's where the progress eventually comes. So you started to do the work. You picked the camera back up. It was like bump it. It wasn't making money, but now I'm gonna keep working until it does.
Yeah.
And now you are. So now we're at the point we are now.
Yeah.
And let's talk about that. All right. So we went from almost dropping basketball to winning a national championship. We went from dropping the camera to picking it back up. Now we're getting paid shoots. Now we're getting called out last minute to get this money here and there.
Yeah.
Now we're getting scheduled out 2, 3, 4, 5 months in advance. I need you here. I need you there. Like, let's talk about that. I know it's exciting, and I know that's what you wanted. That's what you manifested.
Yeah. It feels good.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm currently living in it.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just blessed every day. You know, I one thing I will say is, in the past I would wake up kind of angry. Today I wake up happy.
Okay.
And I think it's because I do what I love to do, genuinely, and I'm proud of it. I'm not insecure about it. I'm not, like, looking at all my flaws. I'm like, I'm going to be the best. I might not be the best right now to somebody, but to me, I'm the best. That's just how, like, that's
confidence.
Yeah, that's what changed. I had to make a change and not be scared to make the change because of what other people thought.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, nobody wakes you up and says, go get it. Nobody tells you how to go do it until you do it, and then everybody wants to say stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I stopped caring. I stopped caring about other people's input and just put all of my energy into it. But all the energy I was putting into it was pure, and I made sure it was pure. So anything, like even going into your shoot, like I'll pray about it. Like that's just what I do. I say, God, thank you for this day. Please just bless my eyes. Bless me to be able to capture the moment. And bless me to be comfortable with them and then be comfortable with me, you know, so we can make this work. And that's just how I go into it. You know, it might sound corny, but that's just what I do.
That's what you are.
You know what I'm saying?
And you said it earlier, like, at the end of the day, like, there's a lot of different phrases you can phrase it, but, like, you could say no one cares, work harder. You can say so many different things, but I feel like those don't necessarily do justice. Like, you said it yourself, like, somebody can look at you and say your work is bad to this day.
Yeah, 100%.
Just like someone can look at you and say your work is great.
Yeah.
But you have to control what you can control, which is me and my vision, me having confidence in myself. Yeah. And, like, that's something I work through, and I feel like I know that's something you work through because I've seen it with my own eyes during our photo shoot. It's like it's the energy, it's the aura. If you walk around with your head down, I don't even have confidence in this. People are going to look at you like, what is she doing? Yeah. She doesn't have confidence in this. When you walk around with your chest up, you were in here just doing a random video. I don't know. When I tell you I didn't know her from a slice, I didn't know her at all. Yeah. But, like, I just seen her walking around. And then also something that I'm working on is just being able to be confident and asking. So we both had worked on something at that same moment. Yeah. She was walking around confident, was like, making her social media content, and I'm like confident enough to go over there and just speak because I know what I have to bring. She knows what she has to bring. But the only way we were able to do that is because of the confidence we had in ourselves. We walk around with that energy.
Yeah.
If she walked in here hiding in the corner, I probably wouldn't have said nothing, right?
Yeah.
And that would have been an opportunity lost, like, because now we both are able to feed off each other, and who knows what's to come next, right? But now we're able to both do that because of the confidence we carry.
Yeah, 100%. I
Yeah.
feel like confidence is key. But you just really have to have faith and understand that, you know, you got to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of moments to where I've literally been at the right place at the right time, and I got an opportunity just because I had these type of conversations.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad you came up to me because
Yeah.
I was probably going to say something to you. Like, I saw you in the corner. I was like, oh, I will ask him to model. Like, like, you know what I'm saying? And you was sitting by someone I knew.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, I feel like in order to be at the right place at the right time, you got to make sure your vibrations are high. You got to make sure your intentions are always good. And then when you get that moment, when God gives you that moment, or whoever you believe gives you that moment, you got to just take it.
That's it.
100%.
You gotta take it. So to wrap it up, I want you to give the viewers and the listeners 3 tools to put in their toolbox of life so that they'll be able to move throughout these isolations.
Okay. So I feel like it's based off who you are as a person, and, you know, but 3 important tools that I would say that everyone should have is one, you need to love yourself.
Yeah.
Love is the biggest tool. Love what you do, love yourself, love your family, love your community. You know what I'm saying? And with that, everything else will flow through it. That I would have to say faith. 100%. I'll actually say faith over love. Yeah, you feel me? But either which way, we get it. You know what I'm saying? So faith in yourself, faith that everything is going to work out at the end of the day, and not every day is a cloudy day. The sun's going to have to shine at one point or another. So definitely that. And then I would say you gotta take a chance on yourself. You gotta believe in yourself. You gotta take that leap of faith and really just have confidence within yourself. Like, literally just say, okay, I can do it, and do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you land. If you dream high and you see yourself at a high level, if you land anywhere in between, you've done it.
You've done it.
Because guess what? You tried.
Yeah.
But if you don't try, if you don't ask, if you don't put yourself there, if you don't do anything to actually work to the goals that you have for yourself, I'm not going to say it's not going to happen for you, but it's going to be a little bit more challenging for you as an individual. So I would just definitely say, you know, just trust in yourself and, you know, jump. Do it. Anything's possible, 100%.
Anything's possible. Man, Jada, I want to really appreciate you for coming on and giving me your time. I know everybody's time is valuable. She left a shoot actually to come help me do this and be on this show for you guys. So with that being said, I want you to drop all your tags, social media, anything they can find you, they can reach out to you.
Yeah, so everything's Jayflybaby. Instagram, follow me, Jayflybaby. Hit me up for any shoots if you need it. We're down to do whatever. Just keep in mind, success looks good on you. So keep that in mind everywhere you go.